Alright, today we're getting tactical. If you're trading on Kalshi or thinking about it, this video is your complete framework for how to trade profitably in prediction markets. Now, I'll say upfront, this is not some get-rich pitch. It's a playbook. You won't find hot picks or secret Discord channels here. Just what works, what doesn't, and how experienced traders actually make money over time. If you're brand new to Kalshi or just struggling to find consistency, this will save you a lot of frustration. Real quick before I continue, this video is for educational purposes only. Nothing here is financial advice, and trading always comes with risk. Also, do me a favor, please, and hit that subscribe button. I've got more coming soon, not just on Kalshi, but on other real money platforms and crypto tools that actually work. Before we get into the actual strategy, let me explain what Kalshi even is. It's the first CFTC regulated prediction market in the United States, which means you can legally trade on real-world events like inflation prints, election outcomes, or Fed decisions. Last month, Kalshi crossed almost 500,000 active traders, almost double what it had the month before. Then, in this month, they closed a massive $1 billion funding round at an $11 billion valuation. So yeah, the growth is very real, and a lot of traders are starting to take this seriously. The most liquid markets on Kalshi, sport games, are the hardest to beat. Why? Because they're insanely efficient. High volume, short traders, tight spreads. The edge is basically gone before you even show up. If you like betting on sports for fun, go for it. But don't convince yourself you're grinding a long-term profit edge here. Unless you're doing something wildly unique, this is a tough space to win in consistently. Side note, if someone's trying to sell you picks or access to a sports group based on special analysis, huge red flag. These people usually make money selling picks, not trading them. This is one of the biggest shifts you can make. Find a market type you like following, not just for profit, but because you're curious. For example, the author of the original playbook. They love mention markets. Like, will Jerome Powell say recession during the Fed meeting? If that sounds stupid to you, don't trade it. But if you enjoy tracking language speeches or political patterns, this niche becomes really fun. The key is pick one lane and get good at it. Don't jump from politics to inflation to Taylor Swift to temperature forecasts. Not at the start. Stay in one market category until you prove you can win there. Then expand. Kalshi's default interface encourages you to be a taker, hitting the market price. But smart traders become makers. That means using limit orders. Why? You get better entry prices. You avoid slippage. You cut your fees. But here's the trade-off. Limit orders expose you to adverse selection. That means you get filled only when the market wants to fill you. Example, let's say you place a resting no order on will Powell say inflation. Then the speech happens, he says it, and instantly your no gets filled. You've just bought a losing bet. So use limit orders, but don't leave them resting during volatile events. Place them when the market is quiet. Monitor them, be intentional. Even if you're not using limit orders, you should still be watching the order book. One of the easiest ways new traders lose money is by market buying into an empty book and getting a terrible fill. Or panic selling when there's no one on the other side. The limit order interface forces you to name your price. Use it, even if you plan to take it. It protects you. Also, you'll start to see how prices move. You'll notice walls of support. You'll see when big orders pull. These are clues that market is shifting. Kalshi markets are binary, yes or no. But you're thinking, shouldn't be? Instead of, I think this will happen, you need to ask, is this probability mispriced? Here's an example. Let's say a contract is trading at 50%. You think the true odds are 70%. That means you're getting 40% expected return per dollar. That's it. That's trading. Not will I win, but is the price wrong? You won't win every bet. Even a great 70% trade losses 30% of the time. EV only shows up over many trades. And here's something else to keep in mind. The hardest part of EV trading is figuring out your own fair value estimate. It won't be perfect. It's part math, part instinct, part contacts. But even a rough ballpark keeps you disciplined. Without a personal estimate, you're just reacting to price. With one, you have a reason to enter and a reason to exit. This one's short and brutal. If a market looks wildly mispriced, you are probably missing something. Check the rules. Look at what others are saying. See what news just dropped. Then double check your thesis. If you can't explain why the price is what it is, why you think it's still wrong, then your edge probably isn't real. Also, I cannot stress this enough. Always read the rules. Always. Don't just read the basic description. Look for edge cases. Look at how the market will resolve. Look at what data source they use. You'd be shocked how many traders lose money because they assume the wrong thing would count. Like thinking said on air counts when only transcripts are valid. Pros know every detail. That's where edge lives. This part comes from the research I did beyond the article, and it's something very few new traders do well. In mentioned markets, like will Biden say Ukraine, pros go deeper. They study past speeches. They look at incentives. Is the speaker likely to avoid or emphasize a topic? They time their limit orders to before or after live events. They also know what counts. Does inflationary count as inflation? Does a word said off mic count? And finally, when they win, they don't get greedy. If the market spikes to 95%, they're already exiting, not waiting for that last penny. Another insight from current traders: markets overreact all the time. Let's say a political rumor drops and the yes contract jumps from 40% to 80%. A smart trader asks, did this change the real odds? Or is the crowd just panicking? That's when they step in. They either short the hype or buy back when it corrects. Same with complicated economic data. If a headline sounds bad but the deeper numbers are fine, you might catch the rebound before the crowd does. It's the classic buy fear, sell euphoria play, just inside a yes or no contract. This one's more advanced, but some top Kalshi traders act like market makers. They place tight limit orders on both sides of a contract, always buying a few cents below market and selling a few cents above. Over time, they collect the spread. They also adjust dynamically, canceling orders if news drops or flipping their exposure in the book flips. If you're placing dozens or hundreds of trades per day, this approach can stack up fast, especially if you automate some of it through Kalshi's API. Let's bring it home. If you want to trade Kalshi profitably, pick a niche and master it. Use limit orders intentionally. Think in expected value, not wins. Read the rules, every word. Be humble. You're probably wrong more than you think. And above all, protect your capital. If you're losing consistently, it's not variance, it's your process. Start small, track your bets, learn from every trade. If you stay disciplined and focused, Kalshi isn't just fun. It's a place where you can actually build skill and maybe even grow your bankroll long term. And hey, if this helped at all, hit the like button or drop a comment with your best Kalshi tip. I read everything. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.